Hello, let's talk about Written in the Stars, a sapphic romance by Alexandria Bellafleur, 2020 romance novel, which of course, you just want to hear some unshaven dude opine about. I'm not here to dump on the book. I was looking for something light, something that I could just kind of just enjoy and was not going to make any demands on me. And that's what I found. And, it's a romance. It works out. It works out in the end. It's that kind of book. It is formulaic, but it follows the formula quite well. It does maybe make the what I think is a slightly a flaw that the two women, one is Ellie and the other one is Darcy, which if you're, doing your Pride and Prejudice fan fiction, I guess that might be a way to go. You get Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. This is not that. This is not that at all, except that Darcy is an actuary who is very kind of comes off as very gruff and repressed at the beginning, and Elizabeth Ellie is actually far less an Elizabeth Bennet in that she is an astrologer who's looking for love, and so that is about as far as it goes. There's a little bit of matchmaking, but by Darcy's brother, who owns a kind of a dating app, and has got Ellie in to kind of work to bring in her special expertise. And there's definitely a lot of pleading made for astrology in general, which I'm kind of with Darcy there. It's kind of bullshit, but if you care about the person you're with, you probably try to avoid dumping on it too much. And people believe in all sorts of silly things. There's religion, for example. Let's just alienate everyone. So yeah, it's got the kind of plot of it's a fake love plot. These are terms that I learned sort of looking at reviews of the book. Just like it's fake love. So the two protagonists have to pretend to be in love with each other. But then what happens? Undeniable heat. Alexandria Bellfleur is really good at getting that kind of the spark going, the kind of physical, oh boy, they like each other, that kind of stuff. And there's some good sexy times as befits a modern romance novel where things are not as chaste. So I guess it depends on what your level of eroticism is. I'm the rare dude who actually isn't like totally into like watching two women make out. But you know what? Two people actually really just enjoying themselves, that being well described, I brought me along for the ride, most definitely there. I would have to say that you get into the final act of this where there's maybe things aren't going to work out all right, and there's a bit of the despair. That maybe that's where the kind of the very kind of the lightness and the kind of just trippingness of the thing kind of worked against. It didn't quite as convince me there. It felt more like instead of this being two women in their 20s, it felt a little bit more like teenagers and their horrible heartbreak. But I'm a cynic, so maybe there's that. But it was a fun book. It's like it's written in a very vernacular, very kind of light style, very much of its time style. This is not something like Pride and Prejudice where the glorious sentences are going to get you. If you're looking for that, that might actually bother you in a book like this. But I am pretty easygoing when it comes to stuff like that, so that was all fine. This is the first in a series of books this is the first in a series. However, I think all those books, I think the next book is focusing on the brother, and the next ones are probably focusing on somebody else. So it's very much the modern idea of a series. It's the general world, but you'll focus on different characters. So if you only wanted to read this one, you would be done by the end of it, which is sort of how I feel. Like, oh, I enjoyed that, and I guess maybe if the next time I feel like something, I just want to take a break. It's the equivalent of just like just a little tasty thing. That is fine. That was fine for me. So yeah, Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellfleur. Having something light like this is a gift, and it is a wonderful thing. And I don't mean to not value that. but it's got its place. There's sometimes where you feel like a little bit of candy, and there's sometimes you feel like a full meal. This is a lovely bit of candy. All right, I'll leave it there. More videos later.